All right. Well, I'd like to get us kicked off tonight. First off, welcome to all our amazing students. This is our first annual interprofessional case competition. So we are super excited to have you all join this competition. We have over 100 and we have 119 students that have now signed up to participate and now have 34 interprofessional teams, which includes all of our 5 campuses and programs including nursing, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech language pathology, and our EDD program. So I worked to try to send out emails and make sure everybody knew who was on their interprofessional team. You'll find that these teams vary from team to team. We did try our best to match you with who you signed up with on the Sign Up Genius. But in order to make sure that we were in compliance with the IPE case competition rules through the University of Minnesota, and also to ensure that all students had been properly matched with students from other programs, you'll find that your team might look a little different than what you signed up for. So thank you for your flexibility and thank you for your desire and passion to sign up for this. We have lots of academic leaders on tonight and thank you all for your support. We will be compiling a list of all of you as students that have demonstrated leadership skills in the area of IPE to sign up for this. And we will be sharing it with the deans for your program, as well as the program directors to really highlight you and showcase you. We also have on tonight our director, Kathy Wood, who's the co-director of IPE and serving on the IPE committee. And then also Dr. Eric Perez, our additional co-director on the IPE committee. I have the pleasure of working with them on that committee and in other capacities. I'm Dr. Elizabeth McGee. I'm a physical therapist, occupational therapist, and senior director of clinical learning and innovation. So we are really working as a team with program leadership as well as the IPE committee to launch this really exciting micro-credential and culminating case competition, which we're going to discuss a little bit tonight. Last night, I did send out the official case. So this case was released by the University of Minnesota. So we're partnering with this institution and working from a single case. This case has been shared with other institutions as well. And we're kicking off our local competition here at USA. And as Kathy, Dr. Wood will mention, you'll be evaluated on the project that your interprofessional team submits, and the top 3 interprofessional groups will then be sent to the finals competition. And we're going to have Dr. Goldstein, our president and CAO, along with some of our academic deans, judge and select first, second, and third place. And our first place winners get an all expense paid trip to University of Minnesota to compete with other student teams across different universities. We're going to have local prizes, awards, and medals, trophies, as well as there'll be an opportunity for scholarship money for the team that goes to the national competition at University of Minnesota. So I am going to turn it over to Dr. Wood, who's going to give a bit of an overview of the timeline, where we are right now, and what the next steps are. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the case and provide some detail there, and then have some time to also answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. So thank you all for attending and for signing up. This is very exciting since it's our first one that we have done. I think we all exceeded our expectations on how many students would be participating, as well as how many teams we have. And so, as Elizabeth said, the case was released yesterday by the university. of Minnesota, and she sent it on to you. And then tonight we are having our mandatory orientation. We do have an advising coaching session, which is optional, that we tentatively have scheduled for February 5th. So we would love to have times that might work for you. So please feel free to send those in. And we will have multiple ones. We don't need to have just one, and we can have a variety of different ones as we go through. The one that is highlighted is the local competition presentations are due Tuesday, February 18th. We do have a list of people who will be grading those. They will go into your Blackboard course. There is a rubric that you will follow, and these will be graded, and then the finalist will be selected and then notified, and we will notify them. So it's going to be as quick a turnaround as possible between February 18th and February 25th. And then they will present, the finalists will present Monday, March 3rd. So that needs to be left open because you will not know until February 25th whether you are one of the finalists. And then we will have the national competition, the deadline, and then the deadline to submit the presentations, and we will help guide you through all of this. We're not going to just give it to you tonight and leave you out there to fend for yourself. We all three are willing anytime to answer any questions. And then as Elizabeth said, the date for the national competition event is April 11th and 12th. Any questions about the timeline? You will also find this on SharePoint as well. Okay, I'm not hearing. So this is now incorrect. We have 119 students that Elizabeth said are participating now, and 34 teams, which to me is phenomenal. That is so, we're so excited that so many people have taken a part of this, and that the leadership has pushed it, the faculty have pushed it, and students have been willing to sign up for this. So one of the questions we're asking is, do you know where to find the case info? I'm giving everybody a minute and giving myself a minute to get to the Menti.
Real quick, if your name is just your first name, please include your last name for attendance reasons. Thank you.
How do we check that if we're on our phone?
Dr. Wood, do you want to put up the QR code or the link for the Menti?
Yes, can you not see it? Because I've got people already.
No,
Okay.
it went away. It was there, but then it disappeared. So if you want to show the QR code and then, okay, this is fine too. So if you go to menti.com, and that can be on your phone or your computer, and then just enter the code that you see there, the 95220282.
I'll give it just a minute since I had a delay.
I'm not sure how to change my name now that I'm already in the meeting, and for some reason it says I'm not a member of the chat, but I'm Megan Parrish, PA.
Thank you, Megan. I think we got everybody now. Appreciate it.
So it looks like we've got a lot of yeses, but several no's. So maybe we that might be good to review how to access the case info.
And it looks like y'all are seeing the not my main screen, right? Or what are you
We can
seeing now?
see now I can see the beginning of your slide deck. Here we go.
Okay, so where is the case located? It looks like most people know. There are a few that still do not. One is the link to the iLearn case competition information. Elizabeth also sent an email. And I believe, Elizabeth, we are adding this to the resources in the Blackboard course, correct?
Yes, we'll add it to the Blackboard course, and then the link that I just dropped in the chat, that is the IPE page on iLearn. I've added the case to that site as well.
Okay. And then in here is also the local case competition guidebook, and we just want to make sure we will send out this slide deck as well. We want to make sure that everyone knows to go in there. Elizabeth, do you want me to pull that up?
Sure, if you want to go to the iLearn page and show where the case is, as well as the guidebook link, that might be good for them to see.
Yeah, see, that's, and then there's this with me trying to get, let me stop sharing a minute.
I can share that part if you'd like.
Uh,
There you go.
Is it showing?
Yes.
Okay. So this is where the local case competition guidebook is.
You can find it in the email, right? Because I got a document from you via email. So if we just pull that up, it pulls up the same stuff. Right? That's what y'all just did?
Yeah, so yesterday I sent out the case, so you should have the case as an attachment. But if you wanted to access it through the website, through iLearn, it's there as well. So we just wanted y'all to know it is in multiple places, and so we put the guidebook as well as the case and all the resources all together for you.
And if anybody has any problem finding it, just reach out and we're happy to send it to you. So the case is the air we share, developing resilient systems for a changing climate. And one of the things we wanted to point out is that you're going to see when you look at the table of contents for the case, that there are two case scenarios. It actually says case number 1 and case number 2, which was confusing to Elizabeth and I. And so she reached out to the University of Minnesota to make sure that we were understanding this correctly. These are vignettes with information to help you when you're analyzing the case. So the case, there's only one case, but there's two case scenarios in there that will help you. Then there's 3 parts of community resilience and the organizational and community strategy and tactics. Then you'll need to review the questions because they have it actually outlined really well in there that when you are analyzing this case, make sure you take these questions into consideration. We are recommending that you take advantage of coaching and mentoring sessions. Now, one of the things you can do is you can ask your faculty, but you cannot ask the ones who are judging. And there cannot be a work assignment issued to the faculty or any of your coaches or mentors. You can just ask them for guidance. They can't actually do any of the work. But you can also reach out to health professionals, which all of you probably know several of them. And the question came in, do we have a list of the faculty? We will make sure that we include that. Elizabeth, is it already out on the SharePoint site? Can't remember.
The faculty that are judging.
Yes.
It should be
And
at the end of the guidebook. It has the judges there, but we'll double check that and ensure that we're transparent about who's involved in the judging, so you know not to reach out to them. But feel free to reach out to any additional of your, advisors, faculty that aren't involved in the judging. That's just fine.
And then this just gives a little bit more information of where you can find the case presentation details and the evaluation criteria. But if you go through that guidebook, it will be in there. This is one of the things that I want to emphasize again, that there cannot be any delegated work. Just advice on how to approach it and that kind of thing, but not how to actually analyze or answer any of the questions. You should not solicit information from other teams' presentations. You're free to use anything available that's available to the public. Cannot contact case writers or case contributors, case reviewers, because they will disqualify teams. I'm not worried about that with the student population that we have, but which is a good thing. And then there's also Blackboard course question and answer discussion board. And the University of Minnesota during the case process actually has a public site that people can post questions, and Elizabeth is getting clarification for whether that needs to come from us or if students can post on that. And Elizabeth, last I checked, I don't think we have the response to that correct?
Correct. I checked before we started the meeting, so we'll circle back on that one.
Okay.
It looks like we've got Gary with a question.
Hi, can you go over the content of the concept of the two cases that help our one case? I'm still a little confused on that.
Elizabeth, do you have that up? I do not, but
let me pull it up.
I can stop share and then give you. That's a good question, because Elizabeth and I were just as confused when we first looked at it. I think it'll make more sense once you see it.
All right,
Okay.
so here's the overview. I'm just going to scroll down, Dr. Wood, to that part, and then I'll let you discuss it. Did I pass it?
I don't know. Look at, I saw it in the table of content. Okay.
There we go.
So the case scenarios, they have a case one that just gives you information that will help you in the overall picture of the case. So you're going to read the details of the case, and then these are like examples to show the climate change and air quality concerns that people have given. So what they want you to do is look at the overall case and then take this case number 1, and then if you scroll down, there's a case number 2. To me, it really should show example or concerns, but this all goes in together for your case analysis. And one of the things that we're going to do is provide some additional resources on analyzing cases. Not sure that everyone has done that. And if you have not, then we can certainly direct you to how to do that. I also told Elizabeth that, Chat GPT and some other things have become a really good tool to just give you an idea of how to start on these kind of things. Does that clarify it, or does that make it more confusing?
It helped a bit, but there's still just a bit of confusion with the entirety of it. I just want to confirm, so cases 1 and 2 are scenarios that are supposed to be examples for us to work off of and then continue from there, correct?
Within the larger case. So it is part of the resources that are provided for you to analyze the case.
Yeah, think of it. I think you use the word example. I think that kind of makes a little bit more sense if you think of it that way. Example 1, example 2 within the broader case. Don't think of it as like separate cases. It's all part of the one case within this document.
Eric?
Yeah, I'll just kind of add in a little bit of context of how the IPE case competition came to be. So it was meant to be interprofessional to encourage interprofessional approaches. And the part of the thing that they recognized was that it couldn't be too clinical because then that excluded particular professions from participating. So think of this as a population-based approach to an issue that affects health and wellness for populations. And so that's the large principle behind the case, right? Air quality affecting health and wellness. And then it provides you cases 1 and 2 as more specific context of how that air quality is affecting specific populations. In this case, I think it's a pediatric population, and then the case 2 has a different kind of context to it. So again, it's just to kind of provide you more nuances of how that issue is showing up. But the approach really from the interprofessional team should be a proposal that addresses population health as a whole.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, Dr. Perez. Yeah, it's very population based, and so but the document that we sent out, that is the case. It's just within it. There's some examples. We just wanted to make sure you knew that, so it didn't throw you off.
I think everyone, for me, when you look at the ask, it makes sense how the 2 case scenarios fit into it once you look at the ask.
Yeah, let me pull that part up.
That's what I've just done. It seemed that makes sense then when you look at the ask.
Dr. Wood, do you want to review that with the group?
Here, so I can see it a little better. So the ask is Health Partners developed its first climate resilience plan as part of the ongoing sustainability efforts. The climate resilience plan outlines 3 primary areas of focus or strategies, and it gives you those. You're an interprofessional clinician and administrative task force. Health Partners leadership has asked your team to develop a 3-year strategic plan focused on air quality in the areas that Health Partner serves. Health Partners leadership has asked your team to present your air quality strategic plan to the leadership team in April of 2025. It's looking at it holistically, and it says the air quality concerns that are present in the case vignettes provided. So you take those 2, the case 1 and case 2 that they're calling it vignettes, and then you go through all of the areas that they're asking you to address. Before February 5th, we will, and even next week, we will try to come up with a template that might help guide you a little bit better without doing the work, so we don't get disqualified.
Yes, and in the course, I did see in module 3 that there's some local case competition resources, including the Clarion case, the climate resilience plan. So you'll need that supplemental document, root cause analysis for beginners, information on social determinants of health, and some definitions. It might also be good to look up a strategic plan and some of like the basics that go into that. But these resources would be a really good starter kit when you meet with your teams. And we encourage you now to go ahead and reach out to your teams. You know, you all should know who each other are. So set up some time to meet and review resources and start perhaps putting together a working document that you can start contributing to together.
And there is also on the iLearn site information on the national case competition. And there are the first, second, and third place winners from the 2024 competition. And it actually will give you some additional information on how the whole thing works when you get to national, which will be very similar to the way that you do it locally. Does anybody have a, okay.
Are you talking
Elizabeth,
about this?
can you see the question from Gary?
Oh. Gary said, we should have access to the course. However, I'm not seeing access to these documents. Okay. Dr. Perez, did you load those into the course? Those
I have
documents?
access in my Blackboard.
Can you see those documents in your
Yeah.
view?
Yeah, the ones that you just went over.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I had to refresh it and they came up.
Okay. Great. Dr. Perez, did you just recently add them?
I did.
Okay, that's probably why. He just snuck those in there, so I think if you hit refresh, you'll probably see them now. Thanks for that.
So Gary did confirm that he could see them again, but somebody else said that they didn't have access.
Yeah, I don't even have the course in my Blackboard.
If for some reason you don't have access to the course, just send me an email and I'll give you the self-enroll link. I'll also put it in the chat. But if it's not working for some reason, reach out to me and we can get you in.
Okay. Thank you.
So one of the things that we would like to know is what's your biggest fear? What's your biggest question that you have to analyze this case? And then we will try to work on a document or a presentation that will address these in the coaching session. So you can either.
I think it's quite a lot to read, isn't it, everybody? Is everybody thinking, no? That's probably what I am. And I've just found out I might be a judge as well. I better work out what the answers are, should I, Dr. Perez?
Yes, please. We love to have you in either capacity, so whichever you prefer.
You say whichever one's the most helpful. I'm thinking at the moment with everybody looking at this, being the coach or the guide might be more helpful than the judge at the moment, but I'll do whatever.
There is a rubric in a grading evaluation, so there is something to go by.
And essentially at the end, once you all have a good grasp on the case, the deliverables that the team will submit will be one recorded 15-minute presentation, 10 to 15 minutes. So it's relatively short. I know this seems like a lot now, but as you work on putting it together, it's a pretty clear and concise, relatively short presentation. You'll also include the slide deck and then a one-page executive summary that just summarizes what was in the presentation. So those three pieces will be submitted by one of your group members, and that's what the judges will review. But everybody's working from the same case. And the winning team from our university, when they go to University of Minnesota to compete, it's also the same case. So you won't need to address a whole new case. You'll just be presenting your work from the original case that you did here.
So the heavy lift is just in the beginning, and then you might tweak it a little bit before you go to national, but everything else will be done by then. So
yeah.
Sequoia, I think you've got a question. Your hand is up. Okay.
Oh, no, I do this thing where I touch my hair a lot. But I don't have a question, but a few students in my cohort, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, a few students in my cohort had a question about not having received a confirmation email with their group as of yet.
Did
So
they
that
sign
is a
up through
concern.
Sign Up Genius? Do you know?
I believe they did because, yes, I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, if you could tell them to email me, I'm going to put my email in the chat. Everybody that is on Sign Up Genius should be in a team. So if they have not received an email, if they can email me like ASAP within the next 24 hours, that would be great. So then we can tie up any loose ends and get people placed.
And then I do have a comment or a question. With this semester, I'm second term PT, and it's just a great overload of everything happening right now. And then this is also more than I believe a few of us have expected it to be. Just trying to juggle our normal courses and then on top of the 20 pages and then the 20 and then the next and the next. And so do you have any advice of how we should for one meet with our other people? Like I have another co-student who's a PT, but there are other members of my group who are not even on this call. So how do we, maneuver that with our different class schedulings and we have classes almost every night this week. And then also like is there a proposed follow this timeline? Is there something that we could how would you advise that?
I'm deferring to Eric. Because I think we can also come up with a sample timeline too.
Yeah, I think one of the things we'll make sure first of all that you have context for all of your group members, and then part of interpersonal collaboration is right. I recognize that there's a barrier to prioritizing time to meet together, and so we're hoping that the value of that comes out through working with each other. Um, I can't really speak to the workload that you have in your particular term. That may be a particular question for your faculty or program director, or we can definitely bring that concern back to them as well. But as Dr. Wood mentioned, we can also provide you with a suggested timeline of where certain parts of the proposal may be situated to ensure your team's success in providing a submission.
And we'll try to get that out to everyone tomorrow afternoon.
Sequoia, you know what I think in these situations? What's the harm in just giving it a go? Yeah, you might as well just give it a go. You get to meet up with some other people. You do your best. You might want to go for the A-star, complete full-on 15 minutes, all singing, all dancing. It might not be that you get that far, but at least you put a submission in that you meet other people and you have a good go at probably winning. Give it a go. If you don't try, you don't know, do you? That's usually my philosophy.
Thanks, Dr. Carey. And I think this shouldn't fall on one person's shoulders. Yeah, we've got a team of people to work on the 10 to 15-minute presentation. So leverage each other. And I saw that a student just put in that Juliana, she's reached out to the team members, and they agreed to start a Teams chat and channel to communicate. So I think that's just one great strategy to start kind of brainstorming. We're also here to assist. So if there's any questions that pop up, you need guidance, Dr. Wood, Dr. Perez, and I are here to help. So I know it seems a little overwhelming now, but I think once you go through the case and read it over a couple times, it'll start settling a little bit. And we want you all to have fun with this. You don't get a grade, you're not going to fail. It should be a really rewarding experience and something that you can put on your resume and really stand out when you graduate and start looking for jobs. So have fun with it. Try not to feel overwhelmed with the experience. It should be, a really fun time with your colleagues from across programs.
And it's something that the next time we do it, you can share with the other people your experience and things that you learned and things that you wish you had known. When you do it the second time, it'll be so much easier. So is it Kyla? Is that, not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but
It's Kayla. Can you hear me? My thing is a little
Yes.
jumpy. Okay.
Nope, we can hear you just great.
I did receive an email for my confirmation, but I don't know if it really matters, but it has me as PT and I'm OT. I don't know if that.
That does matter. I think it should be
Shock
okay, but
horror.
if you can send me, apologies, if you can send me an email, I'll have it corrected and just make sure that we're still following the rules. So, because with the case competition rules, we just can't have more than 2 individuals from the same profession. So we'll just have to cross-check
I
that.
think it had 2 PT on there. And I responded to that email, but I can send you an individual email if that makes it easier.
That would be great. Thank you.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Gracie?
So my camera keeps cutting on and off. I'm trying to fix it. But I am in speech therapy and I did not put that under my name. Are y'all able to see like what I'm in? Because there's 2 speech therapy and I think SPT is physical therapy, right? That's the 2 that so there's 2 SPT and there's 2 SLP. Are we gonna get more than that? Because there's like a list of like a bank of names that are not mixed in yet.
So there can't be more
when
than 4.
people,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. When in the Sign Up Genius, what we did is if there wasn't a profession listed, we went to the registrar and had them pull the profession. So check your confirmation and just ensure, because we did put by everybody's names the profession that we had on file. And if it's inaccurate, just send me an email and we can work through that offline.
Are the groups that we have right now, but those will for sure be like if I were to email them and like start a chat and stuff, those will for sure be in my group, right?
The email confirmation that was sent out to you, those are the official record of who's in your group. Yes.
Thank you.
Are you seeing any other hands raised? I am not, but except for
Any
Gracie
other
still is,
questions?
unless she's got another one.
I meant to take it down, but I also had a question. If we didn't get the email, we just email Miss Elizabeth, right?
Yes, for some reason, if you didn't see an email, just send me an email and let me know, and I can follow up with that.
So I think the takeaway. Well, let me go ahead and get Carrington.
Hey, if this isn't time for questions, I can wait till the end. I'm just not sure.
No, this is perfect time.
Okay, so I have 2. One, I'm a little confused about the micro credentialing. I didn't realize that like that was an opportunity, so I was kind of wondering about that. And I still am not able to. The link for me isn't working to self-enroll into that course. Do I just need to email somebody because I still don't see it?
Yep, there's a couple things you can try. If you restart your computer and clear your cache and then try the link again, that might work. But if it's still giving you a problem, send me an email and we can ask our Blackboard administrator to get you in through the back end.
Okay.
And
Another
then
thing
to your
is
other
for that.
question, the case competition is part of the IPE micro credential. It's the biggest part. So, you know, after you've completed this part, there's a VSIM in module 2, and then some videos in module 1. So the completion of module 1, module 2, module 3 in any order will give you that micro credential and digital badge that then you can share out on social media and put it on your resume. So we strongly encourage you, especially going through the IPE case competition, to go ahead and do those other smaller parts so you can secure that badge.
Okay, thank you so much.
Another thing for Carrington, if you go under like on the class list, it's not going to be in your class list. It's going to be at the bottom and it's going to be like external links or something like that. Like it's not going to be in your list of classes. So check that and make sure like it's not in there.
Thank you, Gracie.
Kiara?
Thank you.
I'm super excited. I think this sounds fun. I haven't read anything or done anything, but if we have a question like along the way, like once we get familiar with what is going to be happening, it seems like there's a lot of you in charge. So like who do we email, or is it all of you?
Or is there a Q&A in the Blackboard? Isn't there?
Well, that
Elizabeth?
would make
Yeah.
sense if I
Yeah.
opened that. Yes. Okay, perfect.
Because that might be the easiest way. Instead of emailing, we'll just regularly check that.
Okay, perfect.
I like that idea. So then that'll allow us to all the students to see some of the questions, because I'm sure we're going to get some duplicate questions. So if you have a question, we'll check the discussion board first and then post your question if you don't see the answer.
Madison?
Hi, for the micro credential on the iLearn for module 2, it wanted us to do the like the video. It wouldn't let me register for the video or the meeting. And I didn't know how to fix that.
For the VSIM?
Yes.
In module 2, yes. So for the VSIM, that date will be coming out in February. So there's nothing to do with that right now. You can just focus on the IPE micro credential, and then as soon as the VSIM is available, we'll send out an announcement so you all can access that. We're probably going to be offering a live VSIM. It'll be about an hour, hour and a half. And then also a virtual VSIM. So you'll have the option to do it kind of on your own time, at your own pace, or you can join the live VSIM as well. So we'll definitely send out a communication when that's available.
Thank you.
Sure.
Eric and Elizabeth, I don't see any other hands raised unless you guys do.
No. Anything from our program leadership?
Helen's going to say, take me off the judge.
I would say, I would just echo what Helen says, just have fun with it, right? Just what Dr. Carey says, it's an enjoyable experience. It's a great opportunity to get to work with other professions.
And we're here to
Lisa?
help. We'll clarify if I'm a judge or I'm not, but if I am a judge, we'll have our faculty to help, and I'll spread that through the occupational therapy faculty team for the campuses as well. So we're there to help guide you. We obviously can't give you the answers. I need to work out the answers myself, to be fair, but we will, but we will help guide you to help demystify it a bit for you.
If your name's not on this list, then just put it in the chat or email me. I'm helping faculty with attendance. They don't even know. There you go.
Okay, we've got
Okay,
Lisa.
Lisa? Yeah.
Hi. Sorry, I did read through the material over the last couple of days. Did I see somewhere that there was clinical hours involved, like awarded for this? And if so, how many? But I could be completely wrong.
Lisa, which program are you with?
I am in my MSN FMP program.
FMP. I would probably follow up with your program leadership and ask them that question. I believe Dr. Cartwright may have mentioned something there, but I don't want to speak for her. So I would just follow up with your program leadership to see what sort of opportunities they're offering you.
Okay. One last thing. What did that gentleman just say about this list? Because my name is not on it. To just add it in the chat, or what did he just say?
Oh, I believe Dr.
That was
Matthews,
Jim.
you were
Yeah.
just putting that in for your class, correct?
Oh,
I'm doing it for everybody, so just put your name in the chat and it'll get
Okay.
recorded.
Thank you so much. Sorry.
Marcos?
Yeah, I was curious to know. There were a couple questions in the chat. One of them was like, what if it was optional? If the whole assignment is optional, or what? There's some kind of optional portion to this, or someone asked something about it being optional in the chat, so I wasn't sure.
I'm getting ready to look at the chat because I'm not sure what piece is optional. The executive summary is that
I
Let me
think,
check.
Marcus, do you mean optional to be a part of the competition? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It just someone had asked, and I just was kind of trying to bring the question to the floor, but it was just a question that hadn't been answered.
Like
Yeah,
this isn't an essential part of your course that you get
yeah,
credits for
it's
your
essential, right?
academic course, but we'd love you to do it. Especially, I think Elizabeth might cry if you put your name down and then she had to do the groups again. If we're being completely honest, but it's not part of your academic course load, no.
Okay, we weren't sure just because I spoken about it not being a grade or not failing, so I just wasn't sure like how it was being graded.
Yeah.
No,
so,
what it does do is
for
it
the
does
judging,
count.
there is a rubric, but you won't, for the micro credential course, you're not going to be getting a grade from us. Now, some of the PTs in this group may have an expectation to complete this as part of their course.
Yes.
You'll just want to follow up with Dr. Matthews or Dr. Marson if you're part of their course, because that they're working with their courses and infusing this into the learning experience. But outside of that, it's very much optional and a co-curricular experience with the potential for prizes and awards, as well as the micro credential and badge.
Thank you.
Sure thing.
Yeah, if you're an ICL2 class, this is part of your required virtual lab and assignments. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you all for taking the time this evening to meet with us. This is our kickoff, and we will be offering some more open office hour sessions. I'm sure as you all begin meeting with your teams, which, please start reaching out now to do a little touch base with your team. You'll have more questions, and please use those open hours to come and seek any kind of guidance. They're not mandatory. They are for you if you feel like you want to come and ask us questions and use us as a resource. But if you feel comfortable with the progress you're making, you can carry on and just make sure you're being cognizant of those deadlines. And we'll send out reminders so you all know what's coming your way. But just reach out if you need us. We're here.
And we will take a look at these chat questions again and make sure they're all addressed. So thank you so much.
All right. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
night.
you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Dr. Carey.